My name is Clara. I'm 32 years old. I have 2 children, a boy named Leo and a girl named Fiona. And once, I believed I had the perfect life. I married Mark when I was 24. He was 8 years older than me, confident, kind, responsible. The kind of man who always remembered to say, "I love you," before leaving for work, who smiled when he looked at me across the kitchen table. Back then, I thought love looked like consistency, like stability, like someone who shows up every day and brings home what the family needs. And at first, that was exactly who Mark was. We had Leo 3 years into our marriage. He was full of energy and laughter. Then Fiona came 2 years later, soft-voiced and always singing to herself. While Mark worked, I stayed home, cooking, cleaning, teaching ABCs, changing diapers, folding laundry, and managing a home that never seemed to stop needing me. I was tired, but I was grateful, because I thought this was love. But over time, something changed. Mark stopped coming home early. Then he stopped coming home happy. He started saying he was too busy when I asked him anything. He stopped saying, "I love you." He stopped looking at me like I was someone worth seeing. One evening I asked, "Are you okay?" He said, "I'm working for this family. Don't ask questions." So I stopped asking, and I started pretending, but something inside me started to shrink. 3 years ago, Mark went on a business trip. While organizing some laundry, I found a printed itinerary in his jacket pocket. 2 plain tickets, 2 names, his and another woman's. Her name was Camille. I felt the air leave my body. I stood in our bedroom for hours, and I cried for 4 days. I didn't tell anyone. When he came home, I asked, "Who is Camille?" He didn't look at me. "She's nobody." "Don't worry." I didn't believe him, but I said, "Okay." I thought maybe keeping the family together was more important than demanding the truth. Leo was only 3. I didn't want to break their little world, so I kept quiet. I made dinner, I folded laundry, and I swallowed my questions like poison. Years passed. Mark didn't change. He still worked late, still went on trips, still offered cold smiles and colder silences. My heart grew numb. One afternoon at the grocery store, I ran into someone from my past, Julian. We were just old friends, nothing more. Once, he smiled gently, held the cart for me, helped me pick up the apples I dropped. That was it. But later, I saw him again, helping his wife into their car, holding the door for her, adjusting her coat. It was such a small thing, but in that moment, I thought, this is what care looks like. This is what I've been missing. Julian and I started talking. At the park, at the cafe. No big moments, just conversations. He never gave me gifts. He never made promises. But he listened. He told me, "You matter." He said, "You are not invisible." And I felt something I hadn't felt in years. Alive, Mark found out he was furious. He shouted, "How could you?" And I, for once, didn't flinch. I said, "Because I needed love." That night, for the first time in years, he cried. And he said, "I love you. Please don't leave." I asked, "Why now? Why, after 8 years of silence, he said, I didn't know you were hurting. I didn't know whether to laugh or to break. Then I got sick, a sudden infection. I was hospitalized. Mark came, sat by my bed, held my hand, and whispered, Don't leave me, I love you. I heard the words, soft, desperate, for only the second time in our entire marriage. He came home more after that. He started helping with dishes, with bedtime, with questions like, Do you need help today? Small things. But I noticed. Still, my heart wasn't the same, because love doesn't grow back like nothing happened. It grows back slowly, painfully, if at all. I spent nights awake, staring at the ceiling, thinking, should I stay? Should I go? What's best for my children? What's best for me? Mark was trying, truly. He cooked once. He helped Leo with homework. He sat on the couch without his phone. But even with all the trying, I couldn't find the warmth. One evening, I asked Leo during dinner, Do you think Daddy and I are happy? He looked surprised and said, I don't know. You're nice to each other, but sometimes you look sad. Fiona looked up and said, Mommy, I don't want anything to change. I want us to stay together. I went to the kitchen and cried, because they were too young to understand what it costs to pretend. I needed closure. So I visited Julian for the first and last time since everything happened. He smiled when he saw me. How are you? He asked. I said, trying to fix my life. He nodded and said, You're strong, Clara. You'll find your way. I told him, You reminded me that I'm important. Then I walked away. No big drama, no goodbyes with music, just a quiet ending to a quiet beginning. That night, I sat with Mark. I said, Do you still want this marriage? He said, Yes, I made mistakes, but I love you. I asked, Can you let go of her? Can you give me the love and care I've needed for years? He said, I will try. And I said, Trying is not enough. I need you to mean it. We started again, slowly. Walks together, talks about the weather, a few jokes. And somewhere in the quiet, I began to feel a little bit of hope, but also doubt, because forgiveness is not forgetting. It's remembering and choosing to keep going anyway. One morning, I looked in the mirror, and I said to myself, Clara, you are not perfect, but you are worth loving. I thought about the nights I cried alone, the tickets with Camille's name, the betrayal, the silence, the longing, the guilt. And then I thought about Julian and how he saw me when I had forgotten myself. That day, I wrote a letter to myself. It said, Dear Clara, you are strong, you are kind, you are important. Life is hard, but you can handle it. Love yourself first. You deserve happiness. I folded it, placed it in my drawer, and every time I feel small, I read it. Mark and I are still together. It's not perfect. He says he loves me. Sometimes I believe him. But now I don't live for his words. I live for my own peace. I read books. I take walks alone. I make time for myself. I choose me first, because I've learned something no one ever taught me. Love is not just saying, I love you. It's action, it's care, it's showing up. It's respect. And if someone can't give you that, no matter how long you've been together, you are allowed to choose differently. To anyone out there, if you've been lied to, ignored, or made to feel like you don't matter. You are not broken. You are human, and you deserve more. Sometimes the hardest decision isn't between staying or leaving. It's learning how to choose yourself again. And that, my friend, is the beginning of everything. The end and the beginning.